Today we're going to cut out a sheet of aluminum, 063 thickness, 4x8 sheet, and I'll just document some of the steps. On our table we have a substrate, a 12 millimeter substrate, basically just a flat piece. Our table is very well precision, so anything we put on here is fairly level. Also, since we're through cutting, it doesn't really matter. We're not trying to get much in the Z direction accuracy because we're going to through cut. On top of this material, because we don't want to waste that, is we typically use a sheet of coroplast. We'll put that right on top. I believe it's 3 millimeter thick coroplast. There we go. The other side has already been cut through, or cut through somewhat. Kind of like a spoil board. Okay. So here you can see we put our sheet of aluminum, 063 aluminum, on top of our spoil panel here, which is just corrugated plastic. This actually helps quite a bit. It when you cut through, it adds almost like a lubricant for the cutter, because we are not using any coolant whatsoever. It gives us a nice clean finish, and we don't have to clean the material afterwards. So we'll put it down. Simply we just ratchet hold downs by hand, just like that. These are really cool. And this last one. We like these armatures because they're nice and long, so it gives plenty of room for our router bit and our vacuum or dust collector to travel and not make contact with anything. Basically giving us almost a 1/4 inch or a waist maximum. Very good. So now that's all set. We'll square our machine off and good to go. For this job we're going to be using an 1/8 inch single flute called an O flute, up spiral. We're going to raise the dust collector first. That's one. We're going to replace the bits right now. Now that we have the correct bit, we're going to zero our machine to the material. Basically toggling the different directions where we need to go. At this point we're going to do manual adjustments. First thing I like to do is set my Z depth. I like to hold it down to give it the impression that there's pressure on there. do my offsets. Let me go to my Z calibration and adjusting my Z depth. Once the Z is set, we're going to set up our Y and X. This only takes a couple seconds, honestly. There we go. Keep in mind, we do have everything automatic. I like doing things manually sometimes. We have all kinds of devices for setting this, and sometimes I think it's just a lot easier for me to do it manually. Wasn't that off? Perfect. Now we're ready to run the machine. Hopefully you can hear me. I turned down the dust collector so it's a little bit loud. Alright, so the machine is ready. Everything pretty much calibrated. What I'm going to do now is find the program I want to run. File manager. The program we're looking for is called G-Face. There we go. Select it. Execute. I do stimulation switch just so I can see what the product looks like. There it is. I am going to lower the dust collector. There you go. All my settings are good. Set to automatic. At this point, if I just cycle it through, sometimes when you're doing videos you forget things, but I think we're good. We have a program to punch out all the locator pins. Once it does that, we'll start cutting the actual pattern that we want. Coming up to the last hole punch, and then it should start cutting out the panels now. There is about a few percent speed-wise as far as cutting speed and needing to use lubricant or other coolants. We'd rather go a little slower and not use any lubricant because we don't have any cleanup time after, which is very time consuming. This gives us a beautiful, crisp, clean finish every single time. Very smooth, very clean cut. So once this is done, the piece will look something like this. Here we have our own custom extruded aluminum that we make, and once that's done there, the next step would be internal components and such, cooling systems, power supplies, venting louvers, or a backer for a header sign. And when that's done, the next step would be setting up and programming.